Hello traders. Today we keep talking about settings. We are going to consider structure settings and let's get started. So first of all, I want to give you a quick recall of what we have in order to open your settings to adjust whatever you want in your platform. You have to click on this gear button, which is called settings. And here you have three sections like in the previous video I described. First, it's a general settings, allows you to adjust your buttons, your alignments, time zone stuff, status bar look like OCLC values, uh, target buttons, bias, viewport thing, it's all your margins that you have on your chart. Then tools, it's all about smart money tools that is displayed on your chart, so you can adjust them here. And trading view is settings you could apply for your trading view, like a background, colors of your candles, theme, trading view theme for or inside MarkTools theme. Let's get down to the nitty-gritty and start talking about structure. So the structure settings you have here. Structure probably is a major component of smart money trading. It's based for every price move. Using structure, you can understand what price is doing at the moment, looking through the prism of different time frames. Traders who use structure, they usually have different mechanic of building those structures. The difference is based on rules they use to build their mechanic. Currently, we support two kinds of structure. First one is a photon structure, which is called by body F3, and the second one is a smart money club structure with it by week F5. I called them in this way because I picked the mechanic of them for corresponding communities. To my view of things, those communities probably explain those structure in the most comprehensive way. So the first one is a photon trader. I'll give you a link in the video below. It's all about the first kind of structure. And the second one is Smart Money Club. It's all about crypto, and it's Russian and Ukrainian speaking guys, but still, if you know those languages, you could look their videos in order to figure out what their mechanic is. But mechanic, I'll tell you in advance, is pretty known for everybody. So let's get started with considering both of them. But before we dive deeper, I wanna mention one thing. First of all, let's say you have a structure, some kind of structure here. And this structure has so-called boss. So it's a break of structure that confirms your structural formation. For example, you have here structural confirmation, you have here structural confirmation. Let's say let's say I have them like here, so you have a reversal here. And different communities, they called those bosses in different way. For MarkTools, it doesn't matter what way you call it. It's just a confirmation, so it's a boss. This is confirmation, and this is confirmation. It's also a boss. But for your convenience, probably it would be comfortable to call it in your way, and MarkTools allows you to name it in a way you like it. But in terms of our video, we will be just calling it confirmation and reversal. Okay, the first kind of structure is a photon structure that assumes that you have, let me draw it from start. It assumes that you have some swing structure. Let's say you have it like this. And once you have structural formation, you're expecting to have some pullback into this POI. Once this pullback tests this POI, this structural formation, it just continues its move in order to update weak pivot. Weak pivot, it's a pivot that is going to be updated. For bearish structure, wicks are always lows. For bearish structure, wicks are always highs. So, and the opposite pivot is for bearish structure is a strong pivot, and for bullish structure low is a strong pivot. Market is always trying to protect that pivot and create that move. Okay, I guess everything is clear so far. Okay, let's consider first kind of structure, which is photon structure. It assumes that you have swing structure. And once your swing formation is confirmed, you are expecting to have some pullback into this point. The signal of this pullback could be either a fractal break of structure or internal break of structure. So as you got, your swing move might have internal moves inside its move. So let's say you have like this, like this, like this, boom, it's done a job, and then it tries to reverse and continue updating the swing low. So in this particular case, it just updated, and by that it created another swing structural formation. So we can select three kind of structures here. First one is a swing structure with the most major one. The second one is a fractal structure, which is very aggressive and it's 100% mechanic. And the third one is the internal structure. Internal structure, it's significant moves inside those swing move. According to the structure, I want to draw it again. According to the structure, there is some interesting moment about this. I want to draw like this, let's say. Even if you have this kind of pullback, it's not treated as a pullback to this point because it's not significant enough. This significance is detected by our system under the hood. The logic of identifying that significance is pretty complex. I can't just explain it into words here, but it does a job. So it defines this significance, and by that it identifies those pullbacks either like internal pullbacks or like a swing pullbacks. In this particular case, you could see that you have a swing structure formation here. Then you have internal boss, so it's not treated as a swing boss. Then you have another internal boss. Then you have internal boss reversal, and by that reversal you created your strong high and strong and weak low, sorry. And we have another internal boss here, another internal boss here, then we have internal reversal. In this particular case, this internal boss actually facilitated swing pullback to this point. Once this pullback is done and it got reversed by internal boss confirmation, you'll get your continuation pattern from here up to this pivot. So the general concept of how this structure is built. It can happen that inside this internal move for this particular kind of structure, you might have another moves. Let's say this swing structure is just a move, here. So you have a bullish move here, and let's say instead of this continuation phase, you might have this small pullback into this point, and this pullback is creating its own internal move, and then it updates this high, and only then it goes to here. So if we just remove this, we have here we have internal boss, here we have another internal boss, and the depthness of this is actually unlimited. In our system, it's so-called unlimited. We have depthness is set as 10. So usually it covers all possible cases. So one more time. So it's internal move and it's internal pullback for your internal move. You can see like that. Boom. And you can easily adjust all of those cases using MarkTools and using our settings. So let me just leave it and I'll show you on charts. So we are opening our settings. In here, what we were talking about fractal structures, so we can just hide whatever we have here. You can just activate fractal structure and see how it's built and its mechanics. So it's very aggressive structure, and you see it has special mechanic for it. You can figure out a bit about this mechanic on a photon trading channel. So I'm not going to teach you about that. But using MarkTools, you can show this fractal structure and use it in your trading too, if you're familiar with that kind of structure. So here we have a few common options that actually shared between all of type of structures for both kind of structures. First is a pivot. It just shows this icon on each pivot, so you can activate, deactivate it, and it will show you. Then you can use predefined marker here. Let's say I want to use like this or like this. So choose whatever you want. Then you have maximum pivots to show, the size of them. Let's say I want to make them bigger or I want to make them smaller. And the last parameter is all about shifting from the pivot. So you can shift your marker from the pivot on any distance so that your chart looks good for your eyes. I want to have it like this. Then you have boss flag. It turns off or turns on your boss lines. Let me just zoom it in. Let's say I have a boss here, right? It's the most recent boss according to fractal structure. So I can show it or hide it. Also, I can specify labeling for it. And as you remember, we just agreed that we call any reversal as a reversal and continuation is a confirmation. We called it continuation. But MarkTools gives you ability to set your own markers for naming those boss lines. And we have for reversal special marker, so you can call it in any way. Let's just call it boss 2. Okay, and you see it's renamed. And then for continuation it's the same, so you could choose what name to use. Then alignment, it's how your label is aligned, so it could be either by left side, by right side, or by center. It's easy. uh, opacity is opacity of your colors, so you could choose any. And the size, of course, it is the size of your text, so you could set it to 16, let's say 10. So okay, then the line style, you could set the line style of your boss, choose any. Then maximum bosses to show. The max one means I'm showing only the most recent one. Also, you can specify what kind of bosses to show. If you want to show only reversal, you just have to toggle off continuation. If you want to show only continuation, you just toggle off reversal, and it will show you just continuation. Okay, I guess everything is clear. And of course we have bull and bearish colors. So for bull colors, you could set for any bull moves. You could choose your own color. For any bear moves, you could also choose your own color. So you see, let's change it here. Okay, let me turn it off. It's all about common parameters, and you can experience those parameters all over those structures. Let's activate internal and internal 1, internal 2. So by default for this kind of structure, for photon structure, I'm showing a swing structure and two internal structure. So as you remember, this actually covers this particular case. So you have a swing structure here, okay? Inside this swing structure you have first internal structure, then for the first inside this first internal structure you have the second internal structure. So using those sets, you could set specific option for any internal structure and swing structure separately. Here, let's just go it by one by one. Here, I could specify the labeling for your pivots. Let's say I activated them here, and here is a few options for them you could use in order to how to name them. As long as you have different levels of your internal structure, so you might want to see the level of it. So it's like what number of level of this internal structure. You have here in the general caption of the structure have letter, ROM, and digit. So by default you could show them. Just a second. I just want to show level. By default, you could name it as a letter. So let's say A, B, C. B is A. It's the first internal structure. B is the next internal structure. C is the internal structure for B. D is the internal structure for C, and so on and so forth. Or you could use just ROM numbers, so the same approach, or just simple digits and dex. Okay. Sometimes it happens that your internal structures are overlapping each other. And by default, the system shows only the highest one, the highest level. So you could use combination in order to see via comma all the levels that match this pivot. So it's all about those two parameters that are affecting your internal structure pivots. Then we talked about this. Both is the same like in fractal. Trend. For your convenience, sometimes you might be interested in seeing those trend lines. So by activating this option, trend option, you could see those trend lines. So it's on chart, just connects all those pivots together so that you can see clearly the structure. You could also specify the width and the style of your lines, and of course the colors. It's colors that are used for bull trend, for bear trend. Levels. Levels, remember we were talking about strong pivot and weak pivot. So levels are able to show you your strong and weak pivots. And fboss, it's showing fractal boss that facilitated your particular pullback. I guess it's done about first kind of structure. Another kind of structure is by weak f5. So let me get rid of that. Okay. Previous kind of structure was confirming your structural formation only by body. It means that your candle should be closed for bearish below the low and for bullish above the high. For this kind of structure, for SMC structure, your confirmation is based on wicks. So whenever price goes below low for bearish or above high for bullish, it becomes confirmed. So you don't even need to wait until your candle is closed in order to have it confirmed. And this kind of structure supposes that you have pivots that are based on F5 fractal. So it means that you have a middle pivot by at least two of them from each side that is not at all performing your middle candle. Let's say this one is F5. Why? Because this low, particular low, is lower than both lows here and both lows here. The same here, the same here. For example, this one is not pivot F5. Why? Because this middle one is lower than this one, but the next one, the second one, is lower than the middle one. So your condition are not satisfied here. Okay, and this kind of structure, let me draw it for a start. This kind of structure also assumes that you have a swing structure. It doesn't involve any kind of significance or whatsoever. So whenever you have confirmed the structure, it's a swing move. And you also have a pullback, and this pullback could start either with SMS or with SMS. Sorry. And then you have a continuation. Now, you might have only one depthness of your internal structures here. So the internal structure that goes against your trend, it's called substructure. This the internal structure that goes along your trend, that is aligned with your trend, it's called minor structure. So in this particular case, if you take a look, our trend started here. It created shift, market shift. So and this created internal move, substructural move. Then it got reversed here, and you created by that minor move. So it's a pretty simple structure. You could see it in the Smart Money Club. They have pretty comprehensive explanation of that, and so that you could get familiar with the mechanic of building it. But again, it's pretty simple mechanic. So you have a swing structure and you have internal structure. Internal structure could be started with shift SMS. And then once your pullback is done, the signal of it is a reversal of internal structure. It continues to update your weak pivot. Okay, guys. In this video, we are done. It was all about structures. So the way you could adjust it, some brief information about how to use them and what the mechanic is. In next video, we're going to talk about POI, all the parameters, filters, adjustments, and so on and so forth. So see you guys.